Jesus heals a blind man. "I have a question," said one of Jesus' friends. "There's a man here who's been blind since he was born. Did that happen because his parents did something bad?" "No," said Jesus. "God doesn't punish people by making their children blind. But I'll tell you what. God can use this man's blindness to show us how powerful he is." And with that, Jesus walked over to the man. He knelt down. He spat on the ground, and he made a little mud out of the dirt and spit. He rubbed it in onto the man's eyes. It was very messy. "Now go and wash your face," Jesus said to the man, "and you will be blind no more." The man washed his face just as Jesus said, and when he shook the water from his hair and his eyes, he opened his eyes and he could see. "We have a question," said the people who gathered around him. "Aren't you the blind man who usually goes begging for food?" "I am," said the man who used to be blind. "Then how can you see?" "I met a man named Jesus who rubbed mud in my eyes." The crowd was amazed. They were ready to cheer. Then someone else spoke up. "Excuse me, I have a question too." This someone was a religious leader who didn't like Jesus very much. Why? Because Jesus was too popular and didn't always agree with what the other leaders said. "Jesus healed you, and he did it today?" the teacher asked. "That's right," said the man. "Well, today is the day of rest, the special day, the Sabbath, that God himself set aside. The day on which no one is allowed to work, but healing is work, surely. So how can this Jesus be on God's side if he breaks God's law?" "I don't know," said the man, "but I can see." "Because a bad man made you well," accused the teacher. "Wait," asked someone else. "How can a bad man do a good thing like that?" "That's what I want to know," said another, and they asked the man who used to be blind all kinds of questions. "Were you blind? Were you pretending? Who is this Jesus anyway?" It was too much for the man who used to be blind. "Listen," he shouted, "I don't know the answers to your questions, but I do know this. Once I was blind and now I can see. Who but someone sent by God could do a thing like that?" A little later, as the man was sitting by himself, Jesus came to see him. "I know it's been a hard day," said Jesus, "but I have a question too. Do you believe that God sent me?" "I do," said the man. "I really do." Jesus said, "I have come into this world so that the blind will see, and those who see will become blind."